So, Priya, I have this question for you. Now, you have worked with many professionals and organizations over the last decade. And today's sentiment is very different. Everyone is very anxious about the current economic situation, and there is a risk looming around. So, what's your advice to survive and thrive in these changing and challenging times?
I mean, it's a very pertinent question, and thanks for asking, Johnny. I think what I see here is that a lot of people they've arrived in certain position, and then there is once they arrive in a certain position of power or leadership or whatever they have come there to do. I think there is a struggle that starts after that, and that's where I have to strive to challenge boundaries, and then I'll have to thrive in an ecosystem where there are multiple people as competent as I am. And when that's happening, I feel some of the things that people should do to not miss the race and to be there and have the tenacity to go till whatever they're there to do and achieve their aspirations is one is learn the art of being politically savvy. And when I say political, there's a negative connotation often associated with the word politics itself. I mean, people often, when in any workshop or any coaching scenario, when I ask people what do they understand, they usually, give all the negative connotations because that's what
The water cooler talk.
Yes, where you have some, I mean, right from the Machiavelli politics, what's happening. So people usually say, I'm not in that game. But what we encourage them to do after that is to say, hey, politics is a clash of self-interests, and that's how you have to accept that it is good to be there and to play the game in a way that is of service to others. The moment we play the game and it is for serving self-interest, only then it becomes negative. But there is an art to understanding and recognizing, yes, I have a certain interest and there are people around me with some interests. And now how do we all come together to achieve the larger outcomes? And that's also an important struggle for a lot of leaders, and especially in women leaders as well, whom I work with. So how do I build, my stakeholder network? That becomes a very critical aspect in the scenario that we are seeing as well today, with a lot of flux in the movement in the workforce. So we really need to learn to play the game, learn how to manage stakeholders effectively, which is all about networking skills and your influencing skills, and all of that needs to be consciously developed and put to use. And then, of course, how do you, be that self-motivated or a self-driven person? Because sometimes what I see is people falling for their inner struggles, and that's where I see people sometimes leaving the workforce, and then where it's because of their inner struggles and their inner battles. So how do you keep the energy within you to help you achieve and challenge boundaries is also something that I see that people should consciously develop. And then that would obviously help them to thrive in an ecosystem, because they get to nourish themselves and they have an opportunity to nourish a lot of people around them. So I think getting this equation right is critical for people to be part of a system where they believe that their aspirations are there, and for them to go the step, because they all take a lot of effort to arrive into a position of leadership, because they have great skills, they have great capabilities, and that brings them to that position. But then it's about challenging the boundaries and learning to nurture possibilities for themselves and for others. That's where people need to take conscious efforts. And I think it starts, once again, I go back to it starts with that individual's motivation and ability to change and adapt to the requirements of the ecosystem.